That thing was full of life. It was disgusting.
Oh, no, the real horror show.
For years, my sisters waited here, trapped in walls of grief and fear. This house is cursed for all our sake. Make sure our mother doesn't wake.
In the original design, we had these little cans and they had paintbrushes sticking out of them as if somebody just threw a handful of brushes in there. We had one on either side of the room. So you had to go and you were supposed to go and push the paintbrushes down. Underneath each paintbrush was like a little button, and people would push the paintbrushes and push them down in a certain order. But the user experience on that was completely off. I mean, people had no idea that you were supposed to push the paintbrushes. They were pulling on them. We had little springs on them and people would pull them out, and we were constantly replacing them. And within the first 2 weeks, I was like, we can't do this anymore. And so we pulled that puzzle and redesigned it.
Yeah, you don't always think about that, but when you think about a can full of paintbrushes, nobody would look at that and think to push. You instinctively want to pull a paintbrush out.
So yeah, and so that's kind of why, of course, that's why we test the room and all that kind of stuff. But that puzzle did get a change. And this one, again, I don't know if Carrie said, but, all the windows have water plumbed to them. So when you walk in, you see this window right in the back wall of the room, and we have actual water plumb that pumps through, and it's just raining.
How stable is that water window apparatus?
It's very dang stable. It does leak. So what happens is it's just, it's a 12-volt pump from like an RV, that people would use in their campers. And so it's just a 12 volt that gets triggered. The relay comes on. On the back side, we have like a little reservoir that we have all these tubes on, and it just starts pumping water through this, 1/2-inch clear tube. The tube gets to the top of the window. We have holes drilled in the tube, and it just kind of rains down. Typically, it works totally great. However, here in New Mexico, we have a lot of hard water. And so we get calcium buildup. And so every once in a while, calcium will kind of build up in those tubes. And then it starts to just, like you put your finger over a hose, it just starts spraying water everywhere. So every once in a while, to go back there and clean it. And then if I neglect it too much, then once the rain comes down, there's a reservoir that it kind of collects in, and it all drains back to that main reservoir. Well, sometimes, this happened a couple weeks ago, the calcium builds up in that drain, and it just plugged the drain up, and then water was overflowing into the back of the room, and I had to go rushing back there and fix it. But we, I've gone to like pool supply companies, and I try to put, they have calcium stuff, other kind of water conditioner stuff that I put inside the reservoirs just to kind of keep that water fresh. But yeah, it does get gross. So we had a plumber come out, run PEX pipe to the room with a little floater that the reservoir would, when it dips it down, and then fills it back up, and the floater.
It's basically a toilet.
So we're regular. Basically, it's a toilet. Yeah, that's right. I mean, just like you having a toilet that stops the water, that's exactly what we did. Yeah. It can get pretty nasty. Now, we did have one time one of the main windows up top. We were in the room one time, and everybody's like, "What is that smell?" I was like, "I don't know." Yeah, but we were going around, and I went up on top, and I pulled the window off, and I hadn't cleaned it in a while. And I have pictures I can show you. That thing was full of life. It was disgusting.
Oh, no, the real horror show.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. And so we had to drain on it. So the upper windows, actually, the last couple of months ago, we just turned those off and we drained those because they're so high up and people don't really see them.
Listen to the rest of the episode now by becoming a patron at the Search Win level for access to all of the Spoilers Club episodes. To join, visit patreon.com/roomescapeartist, and for more details on the different escape rooms that we've covered, visit roomescapeartist.com and search under the podcast tab for Spoilers Club.